Get ready, we have a new kid on the block. Kamala Khan is finally here. She is getting her own TV series on Disney+. However, what she brings to the table is just as important. The success she has in the comics will be more than welcomed in the MCU. The aspect of change will not be a bad thing either, especially when her altered abilities are put on the spotlight as well. Fasten your seatbelts because we have the most anticipated newcomer to the MCU's Phase 4. Kamala Khan, aka Miss Mar-Vell, who will be played by Iman Vellani, a teenage superhero who will for sure make a huge impact moving forward. To start things off, she will get her own Disney Plus series, after which the character was confirmed to take part in the upcoming movie called The Marvels, which will see at least the 3 characters in one movie, including the likes of Captain Mar-Vell, Miss Mar-Vell, and Monica Rambeau. The character seems to be getting quite a reputation, despite being one of the newest ones to be part of the Mar-Vell comics, debuting only 6 years ago in 2014. So, as a result of her recognizable persona by the fans and the importance of her character for the Marvel Universe, we all have high expectations, which we think will all be met. Promotional artwork for the character shows the adaptations MCU decided to go with, from backstory, costume, personality, all the way to her abilities, which will be changed quite a bit when we compare her to her counterpart in the comics. From what we have before us, we can clearly see that she will feel similar to the character from the comics, except for her power set. And this should not come as a surprise, seeing how Marvel has done the same thing in the past. The Eternals themselves are a prime example of this, whose abilities have been reworked for the big screen. To be fair, this time Marvel will have a tougher time with this huge change, but they are not discouraged by it. They have laid out what their liberty about this means, and how the new powers Miss Mar-Vell has will work. To make things a little bit clear, we will continue on with the difference in the power set of Miss Mar-Vell and what she can do in the comics, and what she will be able to do in the live-action adaptation of the character in the MCU.
We'd like to meet with you. Where?
Marvel Comics versus live-action MCU. Before we continue, we should mention that there is a new kind of superheroes coming to the MCU, the Inhumans, who are subspecies of humankind who were created by the genetic experiments of the Kree. You know, the race that was keen on extinguishing the Skrulls. Yeah, those guys. And these subspecies typically have at least one superpower, a group of people where Kamala Khan, aka Miss Mar-Vell, belongs, who was an ordinary teenager until she was exposed to the Terrigen Mist, a mutagenic substance which turned her into an Inhuman, in the process called Terrigenesis. When Kamala Khan experiences this substance, she gains the ability to embiggen herself, extend and enlarge her limbs. Her signature when it comes to her powers is enlarging her fist to fit her foes with a tremendous force, which is only a fraction of her power. She can increase and decrease her whole body. She is also able to shapeshift, completely changing her body structure, her hair, and even her facial features. And in the comics, she also has a healing factor as well. But remember this, she does not have superhuman durability, which means that a fatal bullet wound would be the end of her. On the other hand, MCU seems to be going away from her abilities, changing them quite a bit, as she was seen enlarging her fist with properties similar to the crystal, which also shows that the change in which she uses her powers is also different, and how she utilizes them. Her actual hand is separated from the fist, which indicates that what is being shown is a construct of some kind, which goes to show that MCU is potentially ditching this stretching ability of hers in favor of tech or energy-based powers. Speculation showed that Kamala might be wearing the Nega Bands, powerful bracelets which were worn by the original Captain Mar-Vell, a source for Kamala Khan's powers. So, based on the promo artwork, it looks like MCU will be getting their own Green Lantern-esque superhero in the form of Miss Mar-Vell, which will be true if she truly utilizes her powers from the Nega Bands. When everything is said and done, the big question is why Marvel Studios is changing her powers. The only thing we can think of is that Marvel had plenty of reasons for doing so. One possibility is probably the special effects, a lot of CGI needed for the embiggen element, with this altered version making it a bit easier to make. Another speculation is that this way she will be closer to both Captain Mar-Vell and Monica Rambeau, who also rely on high-powered energy attacks, bringing all of their power levels closer. thus having a stronger connection between them. And last but not least, there is the Mr. Fantastic factor, who has the same abilities as Kamala Khan, powers to stretch and embiggen his body. With this change, the two would not be mistaken, making them more unique, with the two of them being their greater self in their own way.
Heroes.
Marvel Comics' success that changed a lot. Before Ms. Marvel's debut in 2014 in the comics, the universe was mainly dominated by white men. Some of the long-standing core members, including the likes of the Avengers and the X-Men, and then the Inhumans stepped on the scene. And we are not saying that it was a bad thing, but a change of scenery and characters was needed ASAP. And even though heroes were not white men, like Miles Morales or Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, had loyal followers, they never reached the level of recognition as the others. That is, until Kamala Khan entered the scene, who was a breakout success that made a lot of heads turn. Kamala Khan, a Muslim and a Pakistani-American teen living in New Jersey, who faces all the troubles and obstacles in life, as all of us in real life. That is, until a green mist sweeps across the world, which activates her Latin alien inhuman genes and unlocks her abilities. The main thing about her character was that she is so relatable, just how different she is from the likes of Captain America or Iron Man, for example, facing the same challenges Peter Parker did. All in all, the introduction of the character proved to be a huge success and one of the biggest changes Marvel Comics have made in recent years. A success we think will transfer directly to the MCU. The Ms. Marvel effect in the MCU. By 2014, when Ms. Marvel launched, the MCU had made 10 movies, and none of them were devoted to a female superhero. Yes, Gamora and Black Widow existed, but at the time, they did not have their solo movies, which was until Captain America released in 2019, which, even though was a completely new thing, the whole change received positive reviews. And we think that Ms. Marvel will only further the breakout success she had from the comics and bring it all in the MCU, delving even deeper into the change of female lead TV series and movies, which will also be what paves the way for any future projects the MCU is planning to do. And her getting her TV series before joining the others is very important for the character, but also for the way the female characters of the MCU will be seen in the future. This, plus the fact that she will be part of The Marvels, a movie with 3 female lead characters, she is going to make a huge impact for the entire MCU as well. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on the character? What do you think about the change of powers? And if you approve it, share your thoughts why. But also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you would like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.